When you're listening to music, who do you like to listen to?
I have pretty broad tastes. I don't mind anybody, actually. No, I'm not a big fan of music, but I do actually like listening to most. I like black music a lot. I've been very influenced by gospel music and R&B music, as a lot of English musicians have. But I would, if anything's good, I'll listen to it. I've got a very wide collection of taste. I like classical music a lot too.
Yes.
When we were seeing Elton John sing Benny and the Jets in the garish costumes and the 3-foot-tall hats and the rings on the fingers, were we seeing Elton John or were we seeing a merchandise packaged person?
You were seeing me. I've always been accused, I suppose, in the underground or rock press, of being. I think Crocodile Rock destroyed my image. It was my first #1 hit record in America. And I got accused of selling out. And, the more records you sell, the more successful you become. Then you're supposed to lose your identity and maybe lose your integrity as well. I've done a lot of things which people could accuse me of losing my integrity. I've just enjoyed doing them at the time. It was an expression of me. It wasn't a product. I've never had Elton John dolls on the market or anything like that. Although it was discussed at one time, and I just could not stand that whole side of it. Can you believe? And that's, I think I've been fairly misunderstood in that direction. I was just having a good time. I mean, when I look back at some of the things I wore, I think I'm an idiot. But I don't regret any of it.
Using drugs used to be quite popular with some entertainers. Were you one of those entertainers?
Used to be popular.
Were you one of the entertainers that maybe dabbed in it? And if you did, why did you do it and how did it affect you?
I'm a very hypersensitive person. I don't really have to do anything. I'm like this all the time. I've seen a lot of people do it. I've never not really become involved in that side of it at all. You either do or you don't. I used to drink quite a lot. I got to drinking 2 bottles of brandy a day, which was hell. And that was a problem. I got to drink a lot, and I had just to sit down and work out my own problem and say, God, I became drinking. I nearly became an alcoholic. I must have been an alcoholic. I didn't go anywhere for help. I just suddenly realized that, oh my God, you really... I came down with hepatitis this year. The audience leaves studio. And after that I said, right, you really got to stop drinking. So I don't drink spirits anymore at all. So, but drinking is just as bad as a problem as drugs as well.
Yes, you have a very percussive piano style. What kind of pianist do you listen to?
Well, when I originally started in England, there was a woman called Winifred Atwell. I suppose American pianists that have influenced me, rock and roll pianists, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Fats Domino, vamping style pianists. The pianists that I listen to now that I like the most, Leon Russell influenced me in the early 70s. Bill Payne from Little Feat is my favourite, and Keith Jarrett is my all-time favourite pianist, as far as style goes. But I like people like Oscar Peterson, who's got the most infuriatingly fat fingers and plays about twice the speed of sound. There's so many different styles. I like the percussive style of playing. Bill Payne or Little Feat. Little Feat are a band that no longer exists anymore, but they influenced me a lot.
Yes.
Most recently, I got a chance to see the Russian tour, and it looked like tremendous shows. Excuse me, a little nervous. Besides the obvious language barrier, did you have any other problems that you were particularly worried about on that tour?
We were worried about the food. I must admit. I was so apprehensive, I didn't know what to expect. It was right at the end of a European tour. My parents were invited. It was like a state visit, really. I mean, we had to go by Aeroflot, which don't fasten this. I mean, take off an Aeroflot, and our seats weren't attached to the floor. Oh, like this one. Seats by Aeroflot on your show.
You mean you don't have to buckle up?
Well, we did. We buckled up, but the seats weren't attached to the floor. As soon as we aircraft went... Then, I very funny, some friends of mine to do with British Airways said, did you notice that they didn't go through any oxygen drill? And I thought, no, they didn't. And the only people that have, on Aeroflot, who have oxygen are the crew. So it's like, it's frightening. But as far as the tour goes, it was incredible. Let's say we were worried about the food, but we were given I think, specialist treatment.
What was the demeanor of the audience? We do have stereotyped view of Ivan the Terrible in the third
Well,
row,
that's what we all had. I think we all went over there thinking that it was going to be... I mean, we got outside of Moscow airport, we went, oh, there's a tree! You know. How stupid can you get? I personally, after 10 days, was overwhelmed with the beauty of, for example, Leningrad, and the warmth of the actual Russian people themselves. I'm talking about the people on the street, the kids who are fans. Kids are the same anywhere, in Northern Ireland, in Russia, whatever.
Same motor activity?
Yes, and same very friendly people. I mean, after the show, we'd go back to the hotel and people were, you know, drinking champagne and vodka, which is a national pastime, of course. But very warm people. I came back very touched and moved. And I felt that I might have achieved a bit of a breakthrough in the fact that after I'd gone, a safe old Elton had gone, they wanted the Pink Floyd and Yes and Genesis and groups like that. And I thought, great, if this has paved the way. And of course, they went and invaded Afghanistan, which is... I got criticised a lot for going, different motives, and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I just wish I could go back, but I wouldn't go back under the circumstances. I'm very proud of America for boycotting the Olympics.
We'll be back in just a moment.